right, we're calling the COA board meeting to order. Can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? It's behind us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, so we have the drafts of September and October meetings, and I think that we were clear before, because we lost Carol, who was our secretary, we were at a loss, and Marie put these together for our consideration. So, Bev, you have,
From the reports that went out yesterday, there's just a couple on September, it's the September 9th meeting.
okay,
The changes were, let's see, 1, 2, 3, the fourth paragraph down, review minutes from last July's meeting. It was July's meeting that we reviewed, I believe, in September. And that was the one that was the motion. So I just changed, put in July's and
put
crossed out.
consent? No, yeah. That's- yeah. So you,
So that was changed.
you have, I'm sorry, do the other members have?
I know they got them, I don't know if they read them. Yeah,
Yeah, these are,
wait a minute.
I printed them both sides, and
This was sent by email, correct?
this was sent by
Yeah.
email. Did you just gave
No. Those are the ones
These
that
are
she
the-
printed from last night. I made changes on those last night and printed them this
So-
morning.
Right,
So that's what you're getting, is the ones from last night, but I made some adjustments.
One more.
okay.
So the September meeting, I changed to July's meeting, the
meeting
fourth
meetings.
paragraph down. And then
2, 3, 4, so it
Yeah.
was,
reviewed minutes from last July's meeting. And then on the top paragraph of the second page, the amount of seniors 55 age and older represents 53% of Westport's residents. It said over 60, but it's 53.
this is
Percent.
September, I don't,
September 9th, the top paragraph on the second page. I just changed the 60 to 53%.
The bottom. yeah.
okay, it's not at the
It's
bottom of
first
page 1.
It's the first.
Oh, I know, okay, you have it on the bottom of your first page. I have it on the second page of mine.
So it should read, Beverly, please?
It should be 53%, not 60% of Westport residents, so 55 and older.
Okay,
And that was as of 2025.
all right.
Those are the two changes I made on that one.
Did anybody else have any other changes to recommend, please, for the,
I like the font size, I can tell
I
you.
do too.
I appreciate the font size.
Okay, that's okay. All right, so, with the changes made, do we have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion.
We're accepting
The minutes as amended.
minutes as amended.
Tony made both.
All in favor?
You have to
Aye.
write that down. No,
Opposed?
Tony.
Okay, so it
Who
has
seconded?
passed.
Marie second. And then unanimous.
Right, okay, terrific. Thank you. And then we also have October meeting, and if you did not
And,
receive,
and you're right, in the October 14th one,
and you have the corrected one?
yeah, they have the corrected one, so they have everything the same except for what I changed.
Okay,
So I did change the 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth paragraph down at the bottom of that last line. A total of 470 rides. It was 5,636 rides for the year. And I crossed out over an average of 19 days. They served 52 individuals. That was for the whole year. So I made those changes.
so the 470 was an average, not a total of,
That probably was a monthly average. Yeah. So the total was 5,636 rides that were provided for 25, serving 52 individuals.
5,000
I'm sorry, 5,636. I don't know if I said that number right.
rides, okay. Total, okay.
And then the second to the last line highlighted a
We don't have.
The town, on the, let's see, I don't know, you guys have a different thing, but it says town budget covers 43% of the COA's budget.
Right.
It's not 43%, it's 36%. Grants pay for the majority.
Okay. So that is in the bullet point, in the town budget covers 36% of the COA's
Yeah.
budget.
Yeah.
Grants pay for the remaining majority amount. Okay.
And then on the, I believe it's probably the second page, where it says Beverly is now on the governance board, I changed Executive Office of Aging and Wellness, I'm now on the governance board of Bristol Aging and Wellness. I crossed out all the other, so it's called Bristol Aging and Wellness. And the Executive Office of Elder Affairs changed their name to Executive Office of Aging and Wellness too, but that's not part of it. It's Bristol Aging and Wellness only. So the rest of it's crossed out.
So Beverly, you are now on the governance
This board.
board of Bristol Aging and Wellness, and it's.
That's,
what
yeah,
it's-
that's it,
so the
that's
rest-
it, yeah.
Okay, so that's what that sentence
Yeah.
should read. Very good. All right, any other recommendations for changes or? Okay. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to move with the adjustments made by Bev.
Second?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
No opposition, so it's unanimous. Thank you. All right, very good. Treasurer's report. Muriel, what have you got for us today?
Nothing.
Okay,
The report for July was submitted yesterday, and it's still wrong. It's not right at all. So you're going to have to work on it.
We've been working on it since, what happened is we've been trying to get into the town accounting system. And we didn't have anything for July, we didn't have anything for August. I don't think we got into any of it until maybe October, for the town anyway, I believe. We got the PO information that we did in maybe August, I think, and then but we're still behind because there are some things that aren't working right on the formulas, and when you try to compare it to, we're trying to compare what we have with what the town has, and the town is using different terminology now. So they use something called open balances. We didn't know what open balances was, because, and we haven't had training, and we've been asking for training. And even the two girls in accounting, even Nicole and Joanne are going to continuing training too. So we've asked for training. We're waiting to get it so that we can look at what we have. But Helene and I are working on the spreadsheets now, and I know Muriel sent it back to us, the July one, and she started it all over again, and put in, Helene put in numbers. I don't know what's wrong. We'll have to sit down and take a look at it and see, if there's something that's not correct. There's journal entries that we made, but the town hasn't inputted them yet, so we can't really compare. So
Yes,
when
you can. You just put them at the bottom of their report, like I do it.
But it's not that easy to do when you're looking at, the system in the new town accounting system is nowhere near what it was before. It used to separate out the town and AREW and transportation and all of those revolving accounts.
Okay.
Now, I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Now, what they do is they put everything together, so it's ARAW revenue, formula revenue, gifts and donations, like it's all together. So you have to find it, and it's not that easy to do. So the other thing is, accounting is not the only, the accounting is not the only thing Helene has to do. There's a lot of other stuff that she has to do. So she and I are still trying to muddle through this and get through how we're doing it. So she and I, send me back whatever was sent to you, send me back if there's mistakes, and we'll take a look at it. She and I have been taking a look at it and see where the mistakes are, because it's just data entry, and that's what I don't understand, why there's mistakes. There were mistakes on the formula, though. The formulas, we had mistakes on them, so when you're inputting the data, it wasn't adding up, or it wasn't, you get a value or something else, so.
What
it made it-
formulas are off?
No, I said they were mistakes on the formulas before, that's why you changed the whole form. So that's what you wrote to me.
Yeah,
the
I
other
put
day.
in, but the formulas were only for they were messed up for the elevator and the vans. That was the only formulas that needed fixing.
However,
But anyway,
Wait, we still-
But I
don't have
wanted to rebut to her, I want to say one thing, is that if you talk to Joanne, she will work with you one-on-one, go to your office and do that. I've asked her for different reports, now I'm getting a new report. And I asked her about making the accounts, you have to ask them. They are setting up their own accounts. They have to do it themselves, it's not a canned program.
Okay.
Right.
So I asked them to set up the accounts individually. She's working on it. They did the revenue. I've got a revenue detail that was printed out yesterday. It's beautiful. I
Okay.
got a trial balance. It needs some work, so I got to go back to her and tell her to put, like,
Yeah.
the balance.
Yeah.
Few things missing.
Yeah.
But it's a progress. You've got to keep going back and forth. And they're not going to do Zoom meetings or because every town department needs something different. So a meeting is, so that's why they said they do one-on-one whenever you want.
Okay.
Set up a meeting with them.
Yeah.
And I
we'll-
know
we'll-
she sent you the,
Thank you, Mira. Yeah.
let me finish. She sent you the
Okay.
steps and how to do some of the reports.
She did.
They didn't work,
Yeah.
but she will come out and do it for you.
No,
and get
I know,
it.
she had to troubleshoot because she sent us the steps. Helene and I sat down to do it, and the steps weren't working, so I had to go back and call her. Again, it's back and forth, so.
But she
Helene and
will
I,
come out.
Helene and I will make an appointment with Joanne, and we will make sure that we sit down with Joanne, either she comes out to us or we go to her, however she.
And I had one more point, which is entirely different. Because
please.
you threw me out of helping, you are in a mess.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
We have a
'Cause I'm
Just wanna make
jumping
a-
a lot.
point that was going to be made by.
Yeah, just an observation that
Yes.
since I don't have a vote or anything, you can take it for what it's worth or just politely ignore me. But this seems to be a non-productive discussion at a
Correct.
board level. It seems to me that we acknowledge that there's a new system and it's going to take some time. And if I were a board member, I would say to Bev, just tell me when you think it's going to be ready. It could be
Right.
December 1st or something. And then I would say, if I were a board member, I'd say, well, in the meantime, we just need to have a general idea of how things are going financially, and is there anything the board should know about that we need to be aware of, number one, and need to deal with, perhaps?
Correct.
And that's it, and do that, I'll call it informal reporting, or it could be just little notes from Bev, maybe merely yourself even, and just go that way until it gets resolved. I mean, other departments are having some issues too.
Yeah.
That's
We're
right,
hearing-
I'm sure,
Yeah.
yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I think that is really what we've been asking for, is sort of a report on trends. How are we doing? And we know that many of you'll get into it later
I have
with the
that.
grants, but we are, 3-4 months into the new fiscal year? And all other departments are still working out, but we really need to know how.
Where we are.
Where we are in relationship to our funding and for the rest of the year. So I thank you, yeah. Muriel.
Helene put together something just like that, and it just shows what came in on each
Yeah,
account.
what came
that we
in,
had.
what went out, payroll expenses type
Yeah.
thing,
And
and
it's just a quick graph. This is
That's what we
expenses,
need.
this is income, and this is what it was in July, this is what it was in August. And she's been putting that together, just those two numbers, that's it. Nothing, you
nothing
know.
fancy.
Yeah, just so we could kind of keep an eye on it, so that we had it. And it's just a little graph, because David likes graphs, and he said it's easier to read than numbers, so we're like, okay. So we do have that, we have that available, and we've been keeping an eye on it, and I can go over some stuff on my report, too, when I do my report, so.
Right. I think that perhaps for the next meeting, if we could see the graphs or just have an idea.
Yes.
Like we have talked about before, with the treasury report, we appreciate the work that's been done, but we really don't need to get into the weeds of the accounting. We need to be able to speak to the people in town about trends or what's happening. And that's really, I think, what would be more beneficial. So thank you, Mr. Brewer. Okay, so treasurer, we have had
So there
enough of
was-
a discussion here, and it's a work in progress, is what I think we're hearing. All right, Beverly, you have your report?
Yes, I was awarded the $10,000 from MIA, which is our Massachusetts Interlocal Insurance Association. That's our liability insurance that we have for the town. They have a risk reduction grants, and I got $10,000 for replacement of the kitchen grease trap that we had to do in August. And I received a pickleball mobile net and equipment from a tennis club. I believe the gentleman's name was John Clark. Also taped and painted the pickleball court in the very back parking lot. And there was a woman who came into my office, Ellen Hegland, I think is her last name, and they were playing tennis, but they also wanted to play pickleball. So she said she wants to do something about putting something together for the spring, about
Oh, thank
having
goodness.
I know, so that we could do that. So we hope to start in the spring, maybe a league, and some training on for people, because we have the net and the equipment, the paddles and the balls and everything else, and that can be stored. It's a mobile net, so you can, wind it up and put it in the shed, so we should be able to do that. It's on wheels.
So it'll be, people
Yeah,
will.
people be able to sign up, register with us.
register,
Mhm, yeah.
Come in.
And come in and play out.
Swipe their card
Yep.
so that we know who's on the premises.
Yeah, they'll have to sign up so that we don't have people out there. I'll tell them for now, I know David had mentioned maybe putting some seats out there, but rather than permanent seats, I think what we may tell people to do is bring their lawn chairs, because it's out in the back part of the parking lot, and I think
Right.
it's pretty. And I know we won't have any problem with neighbors with the noise, because we're right next door to the cemetery, so we don't have to worry about that issue that comes up all the time with pickleball, so that'll be good. I applied for a $75,000 grant from the Department of Transportation operational funding, and this is the first time that CERTA, Southeastern Regional Transit Authority, has allowed operation funding. They've only allowed us to apply for vans. And I did get the van last year, and we'll get it in June of '26. So if I get this $75,000, it runs 6 months, so it'll be, it runs 6 months, and I think it's January to June, and then July to June the following year, and then July till December. So it's a full 2 years, but it's a 6-month and then a year program, and then another 6 months. So I'm hoping, I know they've already looked at it because she called me with some questions, so that was good. It's still not the easiest application to put together. The software program's a nightmare. And I did get some really, really nice letters of support. I got one from Senator Michael Rodrigues, the two Westport chiefs, Chief Dunn and Chief Baldwin. Very, very nice letters of support for us. And each one added something a little bit different about the number of people and why it helps out, why we partner with them, what we do, and they're very, very nice letters. And then I also got one from the Executive Director of ARAW, Claire Foley, who's one of our partners and provides us with money for our outreach program. And has been, we've been partnering with them for, 30 years, 40 years, a lot of years. But the programs, that we run with, like the fire department, they run Anne Marie Peckham runs a CARES program, and that's with education and seniors, and they go out to seniors' homes, and they evaluate whether they have smoke detectors or CO2 detectors. They look to see if somebody is overloading circuits, or if they have the throw rugs, and they try to help them with safety so that we don't have people falling, and it's a very, very good program. And I know when Anne Marie comes to the center and she presents it, we always have quite a few people who come and want to know about what they do. It's a grant-funded program. It's with, I believe it's Fall River and Westport that gets the grant together, and they do that. And they do it in, for kids too. So there's 2 parts. I have to sign one, and the superintendent has to sign 2 with the fire department. And we've been getting that for many years, and it's a really, really good program.
And there is information about the CARES program.
At the center,
At the
yes,
center.
yes.
Right.
We definitely have information. You can call us and get information about any of our programs, actually, at the center. I have an appointment on January 6th with FinCom to review the budget. I met with Jim Hartnett on the budget, and he sent back his request, I sent my request, he put his recommendation. He hasn't changed anything. He kept it all the same, which is really good, because I really increased the transportation because of transportation costs. There was a lot. So, and I'm hoping that this 75,000 that we get from DOT will also help out with transportation, because we only have $11,000 left in our transportation revolving account. That one is going to very, very, very low. It's critically low. We usually have around 50,000. So, along with that, I have asked for increased fees. It's going before the town meeting, I think, in December, for across the board. We had talked about that at the last meeting. But I also asked ARAW to increase the transportation fees for the women that are in supportive day program and medical appointments. So we have, I think, 6 or 8 people that we take regularly to medical appointments and bring to supportive day. They asked me to put together an actual cost of how much it was to transport somebody. So what I did was I took the amount of time that my transportation clerk would spend, the amount of time the driver would spend, the gas, the oil, all the expenses, and divided it up. And it came out to $28.84 per hour, the actual cost of how much it cost us to run that transportation program. I have asked for an increase of transportation fees for supportive day to $15, from 10 to 15, from 5 to $7.50 for one way and 15 round trip. So for ARAW, we're actually going to we're going to take the 2884 and divide it in half, so 1442 is going to be the round trip for the supportive day program, and they told us starting this month, or last month, we can bill for that. So we'll be getting a little bit extra in our transportation funds. And any of the medical, it's 2884 per hour that we were going to charge, and an average appointment sometimes takes 2 to 2.5 hours. You have to go all the way out to get the person at home, get them on the van, and getting somebody on the van, we do door to door. We don't do curb to curb. So sometimes it takes a few minutes if you have a wheelchair, if you have a walker, they're not just, hopping out of the house and getting on the van. It takes a little bit of time. So sometimes it's, average is 2 to 2.5 hours. So it's, $70-some each time. But we'll see, I want to make sure that sometimes we're picking people up and they're way down at the harbor, and then they got to go all the way into Fall River or Dartmouth. So that's a longer amount of time that we're spending. So it's going to depend on each ride that we're going to do. But we should hopefully, after, in January, if the fees go up, we should be able to increase that transportation revolving account a little bit more than what we had.
May I ask a
Yes,
question?
yes.
I was just wondering, the budget that you'd be looking at and discussing with the Finance Committee,
Yes.
how does that compare to last year, like percentage-wise or dollars?
I think it's up. I know I presented the budget last week, a couple of weeks ago, and I believe we went up. The biggest increase, we did 3% increase on staff salaries. So it's mine, Helene's, and my maintenance person. There's only 3 in there. And then the biggest increase was going to 60,000 from 33.5 or 38, I forget, to 60,000. Last year, in 2025, the whole year, because we had some savings in salary, we put it toward the drivers, and we spent $58,000 in 2025 on drivers, so that's why I asked for 60,000. So
But the gross number?
the gross number,
200,000 change.
200 and, I don't,
I mean, just off the top of your head, is it like you're looking for a 3% increase or 10% or?
no, it's probably closer to 5%, I think, or it's close to 5%, it's more than
Okay.
3%. Most of the expenses kept the same. I didn't really increase a lot on the expenses, because they pretty much average out, and we also have supportive day that pays some of the expenses too. So the town expenses, while they may still be low, I think they're like 52,000 a year. The social supportive day pays for some. Sometimes we take it out of formula or other grants and other funds to be able to pay some of the expenses. So it's not, even though it's only 52,000 that I asked for, that's what the town pays, but that's not all of our expenses. So it's around, I think it's 23, I think it's $230,000, but I think it's like 5% or 6%. I'm not
Yeah,
exactly sure on the
I
percentage.
just want you to get your fair share. Last year, I don't think there was much of an increase at all.
No, I was $1,000 less last year than
Yeah,
what it was the
yeah.
year before, because I had some significant savings because we didn't have my
Stop.
full-time people that left, were at the top of their pay, Josh was out for there was no principal clerk for 6 months, so I had all those savings. So because of that, we were able to put it toward the transportation, so.
You don't want to get the town used to that lower number. right?
No.
I was just saying,
No, yeah.
last year at town meeting, schools got more money from free cash and some other departments, so I don't want you to fall behind. It needs to constantly growing. At least, I'd look at it, at least trying to get it, maybe an inflationary increase every
Yes.
year.
Yes.
Or in some years, you might have to get more.
Yeah. This year, I think we're gonna need more, because, like I said, at our last meeting, I've applied for, I wanna say 5 grants, and the only one that I got was the DOT van, and that's coming in June of '26. And the other ones, I applied for 6 grants. I didn't get 5, and that's very unusual. There were 2 for MCOA that I didn't get, 2 from Bristol Aging and Wellness that I didn't get, and 1 from AARP. And that's highly unusual, because I've been getting them pretty much steady year after year. And I'll give you an example, Mass Councils on Aging, MCOA, Mass Councils on Aging, they have a SIG grant, which is Service Incentive Grant. And that grant is usually around $600,000, and they spread it out over, people ask for money. They had this year over $2 million in requests. Typically, they get maybe, 750,000, something like that. But there's newer people coming in. There's a lot of people that retire. And because people retired, there's some newer people. And I think they're more savvy on applying for grants and getting it. So, and there's a great need out there. There's a great need, because some of the towns are really doing a lot of cutting. They had promised, I know I've spoken with other directors, especially at the conference, and they had promised an increase or an extra staff or whatever, and they're pulling that away. So people are, they wanted an outreach staff, and now they're saying you can't get it. They wanted an administrative assistant, and now they're saying, no, we can't fill that position. So all of that, the towns are pulling back, and people are going out looking for grants to be able to support it. So the grant, the financial landscape is tough. It's going to be tough this year. I mean, there is money out there for seniors, but it is going to be tough. So,
Thank you.
okay. Supportive day program, still going strong. Our average is 19 a day, 19 people a day on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Our transportation department in October, we had 483 rides to 29 people for 22 days, and 312 of them were supportive day program, but now we'll be getting some of that back from a little bit increase from ARAW, which will be nice. And then we had 96 medical rides. 13 drivers completed a mandatory Department of Transportation wheelchair securement training, and it's mandatory. And they did it, even though this is October's report, they did it November 13th from 8 to 1 at the center. So we had 5 of our drivers and 8 people from other places that came in too. So we held the training. That's a harder one to get, because a lot of times it's not close by. Sometimes it's an hour and a half away, so I decided to do the training at our center. Volunteers logged in, 29 volunteers logged in 678 hours. And we are constantly looking for volunteers. We've actually had a few new ones, and we've been recruiting for new volunteers. Anybody that's interested, come to our center and fill out an application. And you'll have to see me,
That's right.
because I'm doing the volunteer information. Our outreach had 323 service units for October for 159 people, and most of it was with Medicare, Mass Health, and Prescription Insurance Assistance, because it's open enrollment until December 7th, I believe. Yeah, I think it's the 15th to the 7th. And we saw, this month, we saw a marked increase in fuel assistance. And it's not just because it's the time of year, but we're seeing a lot of new people come in and say they're really going to need some help with fuel because, and a lot of our people too are on SNAP food stamps and getting the assistance there too. So with the food costs going up and fuel going up and everything else going up, it's just, it's really expensive. So we're seeing that. We have a board vacancy for secretary's position. And I did say I attended the MCOA conference from 10/21 to 10/24. It was actually one of the best conferences that I've attended. And there was a great presentation on Reimagine Aging. And I brought the information here if anybody wants to see it. It was presented by one of the directors at the Executive Office of Aging and Wellness. And this is actually, it's Reimagine Aging 2030, and it's the governor that's putting this together about making sure that every town and every city and the communities are really going for having their communities be age-ready and disability-ready. And there's a lot to do. This year, I think we're going to apply to be certified as an age-friendly and even dementia-friendly community. I know I have already met with a number of the people from the Mass Healthy Aging Collaborative, and we're already doing everything that they want you to do. We've already done our survey. We did our survey when we did our strategic planning. So a lot of the pieces are already in place, so it should be very easy to do. And I'd love to before I leave in August, I would love to have Westport become a age-friendly certified town, so. And I think that's about it.
Beverly, there were a couple of items here. I know I had questions on it, wrote notes to myself. The activity fee, were we going to?
Yes.
There were letters.
The letters are going out, yes, I was told that I could send the letters out to people. So we have them for the Supportive Day program. We have them for transportation, but Kathy's on vacation this week, so next week, as the drivers pick people up, they give them a copy of it. We have it for aerobics, stretch and tone, men's exercise. Those 3 classes right now are $25 a month. We're going to go up to $30 a month. And the balance and bones right now is $12 a month. We're going to go to $15 a month. The yoga and fitness is going from $5 a class to $7 a class. I sort of spoke with the people in the yoga and the fitness focus class and asked them, and 3 of them in the class, and there were, I think, 8 or 9 people in the class, they all said to me, we haven't increased rates since we opened in '21, so it's not a problem to increase it, because a lot of the yoga classes out there are $15, $25, so they said, that would be okay. I said, okay, so everybody got letters, and it's gonna, after the meeting, as long as it's approved, it'll go up in January, but I can't see it not passing, because it's not.
Right, but at our last meeting, we had that discussion, and many of our board members felt that the fees were way too low, and even the recommendation, but really, the fees are gonna go up for activities and programs just by a few dollars.
Yes.
It's very, very minimal, I think,
Yeah.
if you remember. So, and then we have to go through the process of, there needs to be a hearing, and then it has to be approved by the select board?
The select board would be supportive of it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right,
Because you really have low fees.
Yeah.
and,
absolutely,
haven't had an increase. I like the idea of trying to get something a little bit each year.
That's
Keep
right.
up with inflation.
Okay.
And I just want to let you know, when we talk about like our Supportive Day program, that's going to go from $50 to $60 a day. A gentleman came into the center wanting to talk to me, and he presented me with some information. They run in Marlborough, Massachusetts. They run something called Better Day. It says Adult Social Day Program. It's probably one of the only private ones in the state. Okay, and they run Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30, and they provide a lot of the similar stuff that we do, except they have it in a home. It's in a house, and it's very
Cozy.
comfortable and cozy. It's very home-like. I mean, I think our center's kind of home-like too, but again, it's run that way. They're a 501c3, and they charge It's $2,800 a month, so it's $155, I forget what the amount is per day.
But it's only a half a day.
Yeah, right, well, no, it's 9:30 to 4:30. No, they
Oh,
do
okay,
9:30 to 4:30. And but they only have like 10 or 12 people, so there's not really a lot of people that are at that program. But they've been running this for quite a few years, very successfully. They have a wait list too, for people to get in there, even at $2,800 a day, so.
A month.
Yeah, yeah, a month, I'm sorry. 30 days. Yeah,
So
so it's
you said-
100, I think it's $129 a day, 5 days a week, 20
Said
days.
2,800 divided by 12?
Divided by the number of days in a month, so do 20.
Yeah, 20.
So I think it's 100 and, but it was,
140.
yeah, it surprised me, $140 a day. You know what? I think they did it, it's 155, that's the number. It just dawned on me, it's $155 a day. That surprised me, because we're only charged at 50. So again, and they're providing the same type of stuff that we are. And lunch, all-day programming, low guest-to-staff ratio. It's right here, 155 a day, it's up here. I was looking at it by big numbers. And they did a sheet, and the sheet talked about the difference. So if you go to their day program, it's $2,800 a month. If you go to a non-medical home care, where you have somebody come into your home, it's $4,900 a month. And if you go to memory care or assisted living, it's anywhere from $8,000 to $9,500, and I bet you it's higher than that now. I bet you that cost has gone up. So they talked about the different things that they could do. I was very impressed with him. He knows our area, and he was in this area, and he stopped in just to find out, sort of, to compare notes, what we were doing. And I told him, how much our program was, and he was like, wow. So again, we're definitely on the low end as far as fees go, but we're trying to make sure that it's affordable for people. And we're trying to make sure that, that's why you get the grants and everything, so that, and the scholarships, so that people can afford to come and do that. I don't know whether I don't believe that they take any insurances. I don't think insurances will cover them, because they're a 501c3, which is really unfortunate, because the insurance will cover you if you go to a state-run, an ASAP-run program, but it won't cover you if you go to a different program, and I guess you have to, meet certain standards, so, anyway, but I just wanted to let you know about that. That one was,
Beverly, I have a question.
Yeah.
If I might. Based on the number that you just gave with that private program,
yeah,
I know that we raise, or you get grant money that subsidize our
supportive day?
supportive day?
I get grants when I can, and the Friends also support our scholarship program.
Correct. So with that being said, the monies that you cover, and then we are also asking for an additional out-of-pocket expense that's not covered from
Yes.
the families.
Yes.
So when you take into consideration all of those financial entries, are we comparable? Like, what is the base number? I understand that we charge X amount of dollars out of pocket from the families, but if you take in all of the money that you cover,
It's $50 a day. It doesn't matter where the money comes from, it's $50 a
But
day.
what is, I think I'm hearing,
I-
what is the actual cost?
Yes, that's-
Per day or however?
because it's more than $50.
Right.
So if the out-of-pocket expense is $50, what are you covering for that particular
Everything.
family member? How
Staff
much is it in
expenses,
monies, though?
everything.
50.
Everything, 50.
You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what
yeah.
you're saying.
Maybe
Like,
I'm
what's the
saying-
base cost?
Yes.
Base
You're
cost.
asking me if we're breaking even or we're making any money? Is that what you're asking?
No,
What-
if
what
it's
our expenses are?
$155 for this private program.
Yes.
What is the base program? Is it $155 for us, and you're covering
No,
$100
no,
and
no,
the
no.
family's paying 50? What's
No,
the bottom
50
number?
Our number's 50. Our number's 50. When you go to Dartmouth, they were charging something different. When you go to Orleans, they charge $75 a day. People charge different things.
Right.
But our cost is $50. We're going up to 60 to meet the needs, because we're sort of breaking even now. We're not really making any money, but we're not really losing any money. But we're starting to go down a little bit, because we look at what our balance is. So the balance at the beginning of the year was somewhere around 60, and I think now we're at 57,000. So rather than having that go down, my social day balance brought forward was somewhere around 60. And I'm just throwing quick numbers out there.
Beverly, if I may, I
Yeah.
think part of the reason why we are cost-effective, if you will, is that there are only 2, maybe 3 paid staff, and everybody else?
No, I have 8 paid staff
8
there.
paid staff.
But they only do a day, part-time. They only
Part-time.
do a day here and there.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we have a number of volunteers. and we own the building, we're not paying rent on a house.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
a lot of the services like light and heat and
yeah,
water
yeah.
are covered.
Shared,
if I-
they're shared, yeah.
So that helps.
So the $50 covers the expense for what we're doing. The $50, it's a little bit short, that's why we're
So
going to
there's no
60.
other monies that we get from grants that you attain that supports the supportive day program?
We get private fees, people pay. We have the private fees, people pay on their own. We have the scholarship money that comes in that covers their it covers their $40 a day. They pay 10, and they pay for transportation.
Right.
So that's what we do. It's not other, I don't get other, I have gotten grants for the supportive day, but it's all been supportive day scholarship. It hasn't been for expenses or anything like that. And supportive day doesn't get anything from the town. It's all fee-based. Everything's fee-based.
Yeah.
So it's their private pay.
Tony?
Now, Jill, like you had said too, we do have, how many were in that particular home?
Well,
Private
Yeah,
one?
like 10, maybe 10.
10, and we
Yeah,
have
yeah.
generally
We
an
have
average day.
19, my average is 19, 20.
So,
On Wednesdays, we
by
have 30.
volume, I think we have more people
Yes,
in our
yes.
program.
Yes.
And the big thing, I think, is you're not paying rent, you're not paying,
Right.
all of those fees
Right.
aren't added to our social day.
Yeah.
So the cost is covering the staff that we require, but a huge benefit to us is volunteers.
We have,
We have a lot of volunteers that come in.
there's about
so
3.
based on that 155, you're saying there are other hidden fees that are not being
Yeah, sure-
presented?
sure they have rent.
Because I'm asking the question, and I'm
Sure.
saying,
Yes,
it's a
yes.
big difference between $50 supplying the same services
Yes.
that they're providing.
Just imagine insurance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Taxes, and you
Yes.
know what I mean? So I think that's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
shows
So
a
that's,
difference.
I can't tell you,
And I-
yeah, I can't tell you what they're paying, but that's probably what they're paying.
Right.
We are only paying for our staff, our expenses there, and they're shared with other departments too. My activities pay some, my
Makes
outreach
sense.
pays some. my-
It's not a
was
good
just
apples
asking.
and
Yeah.
apples.
Yeah, I was just asking for clarification,
Yeah.
because it was like a big,
Yeah.
and
There's a big
I'm not a
difference.
numbers person,
Yeah,
so I.
There's a big difference. Even down the Cape, one of the Cape programs runs, and they've charged 95 a day. So we're much lower. But again, some of the places up near Boston, of course, they're going to charge more. Boston, area, it's a little bit more expensive. And I don't know who rents what building, or if they own the building or anything like that, so.
got it.
But the town owns this building, so
Thank you.
you're welcome. So-
No, I think
So so it's all self-sustaining, though. It's all self-sustaining. It doesn't come out of any of the town budget or anything like
No.
that. And I, have been working diligently to get grants and scholarships and things like that.
Well, I know that you go out of your way to get every grant that we can possibly get. We're very fortunate to have that expertise, and I just wanted to say for the record that, a lot of the monies that are raised, you sit in front of that computer and you try to grab everything that you possibly can, and for fees that are going up, which is a nominal thing, people don't realize, that we are providing services that otherwise wouldn't be attainable unless it was through the COA, so we appreciate that.
And I always have said with our fees, I'm not out to make money. I'm out to just break even, and the classes and the fees are just to offer something for the community so that they have access to it, but it's reasonable. We don't need to make money on this. Like I said, the only thing is the transportation services now are getting so expensive that to keep that going, we need to do.
And for the record, 100% of the fees are coming to the COA.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Just so,
Yeah. Well, they
people will
they come into the revolving account, so the Supportive Day has a revolving account.
Right.
So those fees go into that revolving account so that we can pay for our expenses, any of the expenses. The fees that come into activities go to pay for the exercise, certified instructors. Okay? And sometimes we take, like, we might pay for a water bill or the potable water or whatever, any of those things. Sometimes we'll pay an electric or a gas bill or something like that out of some of those fees that we
But for the
get.
Westporters who are watching, this is obviously their first time, hearing of all of this. It's nice for them to understand that 100% of what you're collecting, like you said, you're not doing it for profit. You're doing it to cover the bills and everything else that's needed to run the COA so that they get the best experience and, options of things that they might not have had an opportunity to participate in.
And that's why we have wait lists.
Yeah.
In every single one of
It's
those
a good thing.
programs.
Don't
Yeah.
remind me. Don't
Yeah.
remind me.
Yeah.
Well, I think the demand is certainly there for Supportive Day and all of the other programs. And I think that from our strategic plan,
Yeah.
that was something that was very clear, is that people want to age in place and they want to have quality
Opportunities.
activities locally.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, good question, thank you.
You're welcome.
One of the,
more, Beverly?
I just have some information on my CSEP program, which is the Citizens for Citizens. The CSEP program is a career pathway. It's a host, we're a host agency for Training Framework, and we usually have somebody that comes in for our Supportive Day program, and they can work up to 20 hours a week, or they work 20 hours a week, and Citizens for Citizens pays them. We had that program in July. It ended with all of this going on with the government and everything, because it's a federal program. But I just got a call last week, and we signed a new host agreement. They're going to start it up again. So I'm hoping I can get another person to come in for 20 hours, and that was in Supportive Day, because this training program offers, we offer to trained people, so we offer to train people in the Supportive Day, and that's the best one that we have, because a lot of, it's for folks who are, I think, over 55, low income, and not working or out of the workforce, trying to get back into the workforce. And a lot of what we see for Supportive Day is many homemakers whose children have gone and they're out of the home, and either they lost a job or they didn't have a job and they want to get back into the workforce, and they're low income, especially if they're by themselves. And so it's training people back into the workforce, but they're paying it. So that's worked out really well. We've been very, very lucky. We've had some really good people. But right now, they're looking, the person that we had before, she took another position, so because she's working, she obviously can't come into this. But they train people up to 4 years, so it's a really good, we've had a few people already, so I'm hoping that they can find somebody for us. We had looked at a janitor's position at 1.2, and I thought they could pair with our janitor just to train and maybe do some hours in the afternoon, but that, we didn't have anybody that was qualified at the time, so, because we have to do our query and all our background checks and everything too, so that, and then Atlantic Elevator, they came in to do an elevator inspection, and we thought we passed, but they gave us a little bit of a recommendation. We have a 90-day test for violation outside hoistway access, field top floor access. I don't know, it wasn't working properly. But they said, but it's another $4,300 for this. So I have them coming to the center to give us a new bid on fixing the brains of the elevator that they had talked about, because we have that capital improvement money. We have the 60 plus the 25, so we have 85. So I want them to give me a new bid on that, and see if maybe we can't get that work started too, so that can get done. But they have to do this one first, because it's an inspection. So he said it's not unsafe to use. I don't understand it. It's mechanical.
You'll
so
never
whatever.
understand it.
No, I never, no, you never understand it for sure.
It's
So,
always something,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, so, anyway,
right.
so, I think that's it for me.
Thank you. Wow, okay. And that was just for October. All righty. One of the things that we have been working on as a group, and I'm sorry, Dick, if I didn't include you, Bev had sent out, in preparation for the idea that Bev is really retiring, I guess we'll let her go, but we will have to be looking for a new director. And we've looked at the job description that is in the town. It was 5 pages and quite repetitive and redundant, I think might be how you explain it. And so Bev sent us all a copy. I think I made a stab at doing a draft of what is comparable, I think, to other town directors. And so we don't have to have that right away, but it's something that we really need to talk about. We need your input at some point if it's realistic, and what else when you read these. I think I encapsulated all from the 5 pages into 2 pages. And, but I'm sure there's some wording and legal jargon that needs to be in for a proper job description for the town. So it's just a stab in the dark, but I need your comments or input or ideas that you might have as we move forward. You too, Cindy, with the Friends, you know, I mean, I think that we work closely together, but, so I guess that's homework I'm giving you.
Madam Chair, I did receive a copy of that.
I will,
No, I did receive a copy.
you did not.
I did.
Okay, all right.
I noticed it was lengthy.
Oh, the 5 pages, yes, it was. And I
yes.
believe it was last revised in 2014.
Yeah, it was
So
before I started.
It
Just
needs
before I
an
started.
update, or at least a,
Was to hire
Yeah.
her.
pardon me?
Was to hire her.
Yeah, it was,
I know.
yeah, it was before I started.
Right.
Madam Chair, if we change the job description, would we have to go in front of the Personnel Board
Yeah.
again?
I think the process is, and you can, is that we'll come up with maybe our recommendations and present it to the Personnel Board and let them handle it from there. We do not do the hiring, we might do recommendations.
Right.
And so if you have any recommendations, I guess, in that draft,
Just so we realize there'll be a little more time because it's another
Absolutely.
process we'll have to go
that's
through.
right.
And I would echo exactly other board members as well. We should try to get, a condensed version, maybe 1 or 2 pages, make sure that we cover, all the essential, check box off the checklist, if you will, and just make sure that we all have an opportunity, obviously, to digest it, but to simplify it, with what's necessary. And I think that we should definitely highlight the capabilities of getting grants, because, I mean, I know, I'm not a grant person, but I've seen Bev, attain these grants, and it's relentless, and I think it's not only through repetition, she's very smart, when she does apply for these grants all the time, when they change, so I really feel it's very important, to have someone that has that strength behind them, because she raises, what was the last one, over $600,000 in general,
Absolutely.
to operate, and really takes a lot of pressure off Mr. Brewer with regards to the impact with the town. So I really feel that that particular talent is essential, and I really think we should spotlight that. That's my
Madam Chair, may I ask
recommendation.
a follow-up
Yes.
question?
Of course.
It would seem to me in the job description, it should be that the director develops, not only having to do it herself, but he or she would develop somebody to do that task.
Oh,
Because it
Right.
really is not, I guess it's become a management task, but it's not a normal part of management. It's a separate function. So a way to, if you agree with that, or even if you don't, to think about it, it may be that the job description should say this, whoever the executive director is, one of the tasks should be to find somebody who can write grants. And if there's enough, employ that person, and take the burden off the manager.
I see.
Every time
Yep.
Bev's working on getting grants, which, by the way, is a noble
Oh, yeah.
thing, it's taking away from management. It's not a management task. It's an essential task, but it's not management. It's just, it's kind of a fine
That's right.
line between the two. But you wouldn't want to have, and this is going to sound stupid, you wouldn't want to have Bev spending 99% of her time writing grants. Because then you'd just have to ask the question as a board, well, where's the management getting done?
That's right.
Is it getting done
Supervision, yeah.
at night or when you sleep, or, no, so, I mean,
Yeah.
it has to be sort of thought through.
Right.
Right.
I mean, obviously, the director, in the end, the executive director is responsible. But I wouldn't task that person in a job description with doing that,
Right.
but getting somebody to do it. Getting the resources to develop grant writing and success in that.
Right. Maybe
That makes
contract
sense.
to somebody.
That makes
Madam Chair, are we able to get
Absolutely.
maybe job descriptions from other local communities?
I can.
I have
I can.
that.
I can pull them off the MCOA
Just, I mean-
website.
Right, I think in the draft that I had played with, I had gone to the MCOA website, the Massachusetts Council on Aging, and looked at other towns' job descriptions.
Good.
And, it has to be tailored to the town, each town and each community.
Yep.
It's slightly different, but there's basically a core. And they're not 5 pages, it's 2 pages. So I have a folder at home that I can share, or you can look and we can do a workshop outside of our regular meeting with Bev, maybe to.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to look outside the bubble, you know what I mean? It's good
I'm
to.
sorry, what?
Sometimes it's good to look outside the bubble while there's jackhammering
I
going on
know,
around.
that's like going to the dentist. But anyway, thank you. That's a good point, I think, an item to be concerned about.
Yeah, I never really thought about it from Mr. Brewer's point of view. So I think what you're recommending is more of a director's, as far as administration goes, and managing the operations more than
Yeah.
having.
Just the management.
I don't think it's a sin that the executive director write a grant. I mean,
That's right.
it probably would have to happen anyway.
Right.
I'm talking about in terms of a job description, what you expect.
Right.
What you expect is for the director to find the resources to generate grants,
Exactly.
knowing full well that he or she would have to pitch it as well.
Right.
Oh, my God,
But
yeah.
if that becomes a big part of the director's job, I think the board needs to think that through and say, is that the best way to run the railroad?
Right.
I understand. Thank you.
And I think too, when we're talking about grants, there's being aware of the grants, that's one task. Writing the grants is another task,
Right.
but the grants management is the third part. Like, if you don't have your report back in a timely fashion, you don't
You lose
get
the
to
money.
qualify for other grants. So, I mean, it's a big,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
Career job in
sending
itself.
reports back, and
oh, yeah.
it's quite a task.
Keeping the numbers. So anyway, thank you, that's good input. So if you could, maybe by our next meeting, maybe we could have a workshop. I don't know when, Bev, well, see if we can work with Bev. If you have some ideas, send them along to myself or Bev. That's great. Okay, any more discussion? Okay. The town accounting system, I think,
We talked about
Muriel, we
Yeah, we already
discussed that. So that item is, and that the budget, the next item on the agenda is that the town administrator, the request to VINCOM, and that's scheduled for January 6th at 6:30, and that will be here,
I think it's Zoom.
Zoom,
I think
okay?
they're Zooming them.
All right. So we'll be, all right. Any other reporting of actions or functions from the last month? Okay, old business. Update of the use of the old high school code reviews. This is something that Dave, Lalima, myself, and Beverly have been working on, and we are having a meeting with our assistant town planner.
Dia. Dia is her name?
Dia.
I think is how you say her name.
And Ralph, and David and myself on the 2nd to review what are the specific code requirements in our request. And I think we've gotten caught in between. There was a 9th version, and now there's a 10th version. And what we've been asking for is an interim use of the old high school in just a few of specific areas for education and recreation. Not social services, not moving everybody over there, just to be able to do the classes and et cetera, from maybe 8 in the morning till about 2 in the afternoon. So no interplay. So we're asking just for interim use. So there's been some confusion that we were going to take over the whole high school, and it's like, no, we don't need that. However, we have been looking at, there are models, there's information that's in other towns, in redaptive reuse of buildings. This has been going on for decades. It was going on in the 20th century. So we are now in the 21st century, and so we have a new version of the building requirements. We're going to review and see what is it that we need. And I know since we've been talking about this for over a year, we have looked at some of the financial resources that could go into this and what we might need. So we will keep you posted. And is there anything else you would want to add to that, Beverly?
No, I did send out a link to everybody
Yeah.
to watch. The link
Yeah.
is from Mass, MMA, Mass Municipal Association, and there were 3 towns who repurposed old school buildings in their town, and how they did it, how they got the money, where they got the money from, how long it took. They, talked about phase planning in some of the things.
Right.
Did phenomenal jobs. And then there was another link, that video link of somebody presenting, and I forget what town it was. It wasn't Dedham, it wasn't East Hampton, and it wasn't
Easton?
Eastham, I don't know, there's
That's-
4 of them, though, there were 2 links.
Right.
But it's really impressive to take a look at how they did it and what they did. And some of the criteria and some of the ways to get in was with waivers on things. As long as it's not a health or safety issue, there were waivers on the buildings.
Right.
Because the buildings are still open and still used. The other thing is, just so people do know, I did reach out to MIA, that's our insurance company, and I asked them if we go to the old high school, and first of all, is the old high school covered by our insurance, by our liability insurance? And if we go to the old high school to do the same activities we're doing in our center now, so it would be exercise or technology and things like that, would we be covered? And he said, absolutely, anything that you're doing in your building, you can do in any of the buildings in town, and you would be covered. Your liability insurance is covered, 100%. So I said, okay, so that was a good thing, because I know Shauna brought that up quite a few months ago, and she talked about the liability, so that was something that we wanted to clarify, and that was good to clarify, so we are covered if we do
Right.
go into the buildings.
Right. So just to reassure you, we're trying to go through the proper channels, we're trying to check all the boxes, and not really trying to take over another building. We've, if you've come to the senior center, you know that we are busting at the seams, and sometimes it's very hard to schedule even a meeting for next Tuesday, or 2 weeks from now. Like where in the building could we actually meet with people professionally? We did have a meeting one day, Beverly, myself, the new superintendent, and the director of curriculum, and we met over the billiards table downstairs because every space was taken. Nobody was playing billiards, but I think that people don't realize it doesn't look busy, but a lot of people get dropped off, and there's a lot of parking in the back, so those half a dozen cars that are outside is not really indicative of the number of people
Yeah.
who are physically in the building. So anyway, we
And-
are.
And Madam
I'm
Chair,
sorry, yes.
I'm taking advantage because we're on
Please
cable,
do.
but
Okay.
there are waiting lists of folks who live in this community who are able and willing to participate in programs that are exercise programs, get them out of the house, get them interacting with each other. The senior center is not a nursing home. It kills me that we have waiting lists for people willing to participate in activities. And I was hopeful the high school would be one of those places that would help us fit these needs. This isn't, it's literally exercise programs and education classes and stuff, and it's sad that we have people in this community that have to wait just because we don't have room.
Yeah.
Right.
So that, I'll get off my horse here, but
No, I think.
that's always been a frustration of mine, is
Right, Tony.
I hate having people wait or not be able to participate. If they want to exercise, I wish I had the drive to exercise. I don't. But if they do, we should take advantage of it.
Right, right. I think that this has been a pressing issue, and it fits in with our strategic plan. So it just that we feel that it's appropriate, and that is we're working on it, and we're trying to work on it through the proper channels.
So
and make
thank
sure
you for
that- But thank.
Pushing along, keep pushing along.
Just
Getting there.
think, never mind. Okay, anything else? New business? Cindy, would you like to talk to us about the anniversary of the Friends?
It's going very well. They sent out a lot of invitations, and they're receiving some back. But if anybody ever got an invitation, please return it one way or the other. It's just going very, very well. We had a meeting yesterday, and we're still waiting for more of the invitations that were sent out to come back.
And it's December 10th
December 10th from
From
4:30
4:30
to 7.
At Rachel's.
At Rachel's.
And it just sounds great.
And if someone wants
The
to come
food
and
is
they,
great.
and they need a ticket, where do they reach out to?
Excuse me?
If someone would like to come, how should they get a hold of you?
They can call, they can go on the website, and it's in the newsletter, and there's a telephone number there
Right.
to call,
Perfect.
to get an invitation. And they're passing them out, people, a lot of people, they send over 400 invitations, so.
Yep.
I would urge any and all of us to attend. It really should be fun, and it's a 40th anniversary of the Friends.
Yes.
Which is really quite something. Thank
And
you.
they're doing the history of it, and they're gonna have plaques, and it's really good. Champagne toast.
Oh, okay. In the afternoon, okay. Late in the afternoon. So that is the
December 10th.
Yep.
Thank you, thank you. And once again, anybody hearing this should be able to support the Friends of the Westport Council on Aging. Our next item on the agenda is Irene. And Irene Buck is here to talk about the 250. There's
No,
no
you can,
mic.
you can
Come
sit right up
here.
here.
Come right up. Irene is a good friend, a long friend of the Council on Aging, the former chair, and
Nice to see you all, and congratulations on your location. I think this is a fantastic opportunity to get out what the council's doing, especially when you have multiple challenges of finances and people, and the party looks to be fantastic. The invitation is beautiful, so if you haven't gotten one, make sure you get one just to have on your wall. It's gorgeous. And I'm here to talk about Westport 250. It's a activity that we look for the whole next year. The country is celebrating its 250th birthday, and especially the writing and acceptance of the Declaration of Independence, which made our country a very unique place, our nation of 13 colonies. Been watching Ken Burns' program the last couple of nights, and I'm filled with the excitement of history, so I'm trying to stay calm about this. This is a local event, Project 250, Celebrating Our Past, Inspiring Our Future, is an effort of a few individuals in community that have gone to talk to organizations, to talk to individuals, to find out if people are thinking about this. We've been doing it for the past year and gotten very excited about events. It's very important to me that seniors are involved in this. Celebrating our past, inspiring our future is one of the things that seniors have the opportunity to do and should be doing for the youth. The schools are very excited about this project, an opportunity for young people to do and be involved, and many organizations. There's some wonderful activities like the 4th of July parade that I'm sure will be part of this for the coming year. What we have learned is the most important thing that's needed is a way for information to get out, for people to know what's happening, to be able to have access. So we've created a website, www.westportma250.com. And we've just launched it. We had a community meeting last week. It's being worked on to make it very responsive. Anyone who has an event can submit information. We'll post the information, maybe a visual, some written information. We'll have a calendar. You'll have a way to reach the organizations. And you can see it if it's up today. We're sort of doing the refinement right now, and it should be ready to go by December, and up to date January 1st. So that 2026, if you want to know what's happening. The reason I wanted to come today is we really need your support. We need you to know what Westport 250 is. It's a year-long celebration that we hope our local community will engage in a variety of ways, different organizations. There's lots of different avenues for people in town to celebrate, but to find a way that it's shared through the website, hopefully social media, most important in Westport, conversation. In the years that I've been involved in this community, it's the best way to know what's going on. If I tell you, you'll probably tell somebody else, and somebody will tell somebody else. and if it's exciting. There's just so many opportunities, as Bev talked about, in the state. There's 33 communities right now working with an organization called Revolution 250. It's a nonprofit that's doing a lot of reenactments. Now, there was a barricade of the harbor, and the British ships came in and wiped out what we now call New Bedford, totally burned the town down. Blockades where privateers worked through the boats. This was an amazing series of battles year after year after year, and people had to live. There'll be a ship called a shallop. It's like a large rowboat, but it has sails. It was primarily used in the 1700s. They had it on the Mayflower. They've recreated one down in Plymouth, the Mayflower, and local citizens have organized to bring it to the harbor and to various harbors all along the south coast, so that young people will actually see how things got across the sea. From here to Cuttyhunk, from Cuttyhunk to Nantucket, food was taken and carried around. So there's some real exciting reenactments going on. I was talking to the director of Revolution 250. They're actually going to recreate the Knox Trail, which is when the British had blockaded Boston, and there was no hope to do anything until real people went to Ticonderoga and carried back real cannons over the snow, down the waterway in New York, all across this state, this Commonwealth, so that they could actually have what they needed to chase the British soldiers out of Boston. These are really impressive stories that young people have to hear, because it didn't magically happen that we have a country. We have a very special country. We have a beautiful place to live in Westport, but it was a hard work for people to survive and to make this. We all know that this was part of Dartmouth, but it still were people living and working, raising food to feed the soldiers. They were actively involved in the history of our country. And to develop the pride that we feel as a community about being part of the history of our country is what this is all about. So when you see Westport 250, know that it's a year-long celebration. It's an opportunity for your creative juices to come alive and come up with maybe an event that you think should happen that nobody else has come up with. Now, our little group is not about building new events or managing events. We're about promoting events, about getting people to talk to each other, about hearing what's going on. And we'll be raising some money for banners and keeping this website alive and doing the backstage. The upfront activity is for the organizations and individuals in town that think this is an important way for us to celebrate kind of a big birthday. I doubt I'll be celebrating my 250th birthday. I don't know about the rest of you, because I keep hearing about people that want to live to be 150. I haven't gotten excited about that yet. But the fact that our country has made it to 250, will make it to 250 years next summer, is very exciting. So get your candles ready. It's going to be a big party, and I'm looking forward to the Westport COA having some events that will engage seniors, will remind the people that have lived in this town that there's a country that they live in that's really worth celebrating, despite the other arguments we might have about things. This is a wonderful place for all of us, and we're very fortunate to be here. So thank you, and again, congratulations. I love to see you all sitting here doing important work.
Thanks.
Thank you, Irene.
Irene.
Great.
Do you have any suggestions
very
for
nice.
us, though? Has anything come out? I know that you've had discussions. Any suggestions or anything that's bubbled up for the COA to be particularly supportive of, or to create, or?
There's different organizations are doing events. The school is looking for things to do, and because we have a new superintendent and new curriculum, we've been talking with them, as you have, about how the students might be involved. And I think there's two roles for students. One is their own learning and projects they can do, and the other is there's lots of organizations could use help. It'd be wonderful to have young people helping with all the things that we're doing. But I think that what you have is an audience that you know well. And what do people want to do to enjoy this? It shouldn't be painful. There's a small group of people in the world that think history is painful. And I credit that to teachers and people that made you remember all the dates before you knew what you were talking about.
That's right.
But the reality is, the stories of how people survived, or the fact that this is farmland. What was it? It was 100 farms in the 20th century that have now dwindled down to a small number. But still, this is farmland. What are we doing about food? What are we doing about eating together? What are we doing about sharing community? The core reason to have this recognized is to create a pride in our community, because we're part of 351 cities and towns in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And they all had a role, because they were not all identified in 1776, but people were living in the state. Again, from Ken Burns' documentary last night, 15,000 people a month were arriving
Right.
in this country, in the colonies, in the 1700s. We don't have any idea that people wanted to leave where they were born, where they had family, and come here. But there was value in coming to this country. There was an opportunity to do something, because the world in 1700 had a very high cap on it. You could only do what you were allowed to do. This country said, maybe you can do a little more. So this country has had that spirit of adventure, that spirit, and seniors have those stories. We've all lived long enough to know that you had to break your way through, deal with change. What does America provide for the world that you want to celebrate? Now, I think food is a great thing to celebrate. Maybe sounds simple, but there's lots of other things. And Beverly we talked a little bit about remembering the stories. There were women involved in the revolution. There were lots of stories that maybe we need to hear again to inspire us. And that's what history can do. It can really inspire you. But 250 years,
It's pretty
I
big.
think that's aspirational also. So,
It is.
whatever you
Thank
want to do,
Whatever we want to do. Well,
let us know, get it on the website, because, again, the idea for Westport 250 is finding a way to share information, to not let things exist in a quiet corner, but to have the whole community share in this big celebration of our country.
It's terrific.
Okay?
Thank you for all the
Great.
work that you and your organization have done for a while now, raising awareness.
Well, it's not so much an organization, it's just people that really are inspired, and it gets better all the time. So, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Irene.
Good.
Thanks, Irene.
Yeah, thanks. We'll see you again. We might have some ideas, and that may be something we talk to the Friends about, or things that we really could do with our population, with our resources.
I have some ideas, because Irene and I have met a couple of times.
I'm
So
sure.
I've had some ideas of different people who come in and do a presentation. There's some different people that present already. They've already been doing that historically. So I'm thinking that maybe, we could do something once a month, to go
Good
through and
idea.
offer something.
Good idea. So I think we're all on board. Do I have that consensus? This is,
Yeah.
that we'll be moving in this direction?
Yep.
I think one of the things that we had talked about before is our committees, and I'm jumping into the topics not anticipated 48 hours prior to the meeting, but I think that we had a program and events, and I think basically it was Lisa and myself who are going to be doing that. So I think we'll be talking to Beverly and anybody else who has some ideas or thoughts on this or in your travels. Do we have anything else to include in today's meeting?
I'd like to add a couple of things for new business that we were able to achieve this month. One in particular is through Stoke Buddies and Friends, we started to, in addition with the Commission on Disability, we started to go to public entities, and we had the privilege of going to Tony's, I know he's the chairman of the Westport Credit Union, to kind of show Westporters, how businesses are making accessibility readily available, but also talking with area businesses with an interview process. We're actually doing two parts because it was quite lengthy, but it was very informative to interview the leadership program there, to show how dedicated they were to the town of Westport. And there's a lot of people that didn't realize, the commitment that these area businesses have to Westporters. And so we chose to highlight that through Stroke Buddies and Friends, in addition to the Commission on Disability. And with our outreach, that's kind of like what our mission is within town, to visit area businesses so that we can interview owners and their leadership and show the commitment that they have on a personal level to all of the activities, and support each area with their dedication. And I thought that it was extremely important, and didn't realize all the things that Tony does, in addition to the commitment that he has with the COA board, but also to the community and to his leadership over at the Westport Credit Union. So I wanted to thank Tony. It will be ready to view on YouTube on Friday. We're finishing up the editing process on Thursday. And in addition to that, we were also able to honor our highway department. And we had a great support system. Mr. Brewer came along with Jake McQuiggan, along with our vice chair, which was Martin Costa, including myself. I wore a couple of hats there, not only with Stroke Buddies and the commission, but also was able to mention the commitment with regards to the Council on Aging. We brought them breakfast. They were so funny because I really think they thought something was up, because they had to clean the area when we were coming in, and we had a breakfast catered. I don't know if they thought that they were going to be reprimanded in some way, but, we were really there to honor them. They're unsung heroes. They did an extreme amount of work with regards to our event with Stroke Buddies, and they continue to support, the community, and it's like they come in the middle of the night, and then the next day you don't have to worry about anything, and everything is there. So it was a privilege to kind of coordinate that with Shorelines. They're going to do an article about them. In addition to, I have them on speed dial, so they're just like, Lisa, anything you have going on, please call us. Richard came and Jake came, and they were, always supportive to have the select board there with us. And to be able to highlight not only the commission along with the COA and, Stroke Buddies was just a real heartfelt thing. So I want to thank you, Richard,
was fun.
for making that happen. And I don't know if you would like to comment on that as well.
Well, she said it all, but, yeah, it was good to get out, and these guys, they don't see people like us that often. No. And they really appreciated it, and the food was good too, but I really,
Thank Lee's Market, please. We got their breakfast burritos, and apparently a little birdie came and told me that that's actually what the highway department loved. So we had breakfast burritos and coffee, and we also had the potato,
yeah, the little.
Hash browns?
hash browns, yeah, the hash browns. It was piping hot. They had gourmet coffee. It was just really nice to see them. I'm
They're
sorry.
really very dedicated to the town. They have a small crew.
Yeah.
It's really too small.
It's 5 people in there.
Yeah.
They're incredible.
They get a lot of
Yeah.
work done. And they're really good guys.
And they did an enormous amount with the commission, with our Moby mats, and we actually had to go out, we're doing a lot more outreach with the Commission on Disability, not only visiting area businesses for accessibility, but really looking at accessibility when it comes to the beaches, you know, and we're working on some transportation issues to get people to and from Cherry and Webb Beach now. So we're really trying to kind of turn that around a little bit, and with the support of the Select Board and all of the other departments, you know, especially, it involves the COA indirectly, and we're just really looking for that support as well, but to honor those guys that really go above and beyond, and they're not looking at their watch, and they're not looking at the time, and they get up and they make sure the parking lots are clean, and, you know, we got a tour of their vehicles and their hardware, if you will, and I was so excited about that, because I love big trucks. But it was really fun. They were like, Lisa, you want to get in there? And if I could have gotten in there, I would have, but Dick was like, no, leave her on the ground, you know? So, but it was just fun, and we met at 7:30 in the morning, and we got them before they went out on their full day that they had planned, and I have to honestly say that the leadership that's over there, with Mr. Gonzalez, he welcomed us like we were part of the family, and it was just a pleasure. So I just really wanted to let everyone know that we did that yesterday.
Well, thank you, Lisa. I also wanted to let you know that I checked my phone at about 7 o'clock this morning, and I think that's Lisa. And
It's
you
on.
are, they have your picture, and so it's
Shoreline.
one of the headlines.
Oh, it is? Oh, I didn't see it.
So it's one of the headlines in Shorelines this morning. It's like, oh, I think I'll see her later. Good. Thank you.
Yeah, it-
Thank you.
And I have to say, too, anytime we have needed anything at the COA, all I have to do is call Chris Gonzalez and ask him, you know, what are you guys doing? I know you're busy, and I know they're very, very limited.
Yeah.
But, you know, they cut our grass for us. I mean, we have our volunteer landscapers that do the flowers, but they take care of any of the needs that we have there. When we need it plowed or whatever, I'll call Chris in the morning and just say, hey, have you had the chance to get over there? You know, is the driveway clear or not? So that I can let people know whether we should or shouldn't. You know, if it's a sheet of ice, I don't want people driving. It'll
Right.
be, everybody will be in the woods. You know, but we have a really good communication, and anytime we've needed anything, you know, they're right there for us all the time. And they're a great partner with us. And
He's
we
extremely accommodating.
Yeah, we
Extremely.
really
Chris
appreciate
Gonzalez
it.
is incredible.
We had just a little side, during COVID, I had $10,000 in my budget in capital improvements to replace the broken railroad ties between us and Potter's Funeral Home. And I didn't realize that part of the driveway and into Potter's was our property. I didn't realize that. And I happened to talk to Jonathan Potter, and he's like, all the mulch is coming down because after 30 years, it had all rotted. He said, could you think about doing something? So that's when I got the 10,000 capital improvements. And I called Chris, and it was during COVID, and I said to him, you know, he knew a mason. They wanted a rock wall instead of doing the railroad ties. And he knew a mason, and the gentleman came in. Chris had all the rocks in the back, so they brought everything over, and that $10,000 project only cost us $4,000.
Wow.
Because he worked with us to do that, and they did it all during COVID. And it's a beautiful rock wall on the other side. And there was a little bit of space that wasn't tied in, and Jonathan Potter just paid Mr. Almeida to do a little bit more, so that whole thing is all rocked in there. But he did it beautiful. But if it wasn't for Chris and you know, his contacts and everything else, we wouldn't have been able to do that. So they were over there when we were closed. It was perfect
And I think-
timing. So, you know, it's working together and
Yeah.
networking, working together with, you know, the Disability Commission and the other departments in
Yeah.
town, the fire department, you know, the highway department, the school, like, that's what really makes this town very, very, you know, well-managed, because if we could network that way and we help each other, usually you can get so much more out of what your budgets are, you know, because you work together.
And I agree 100%. My goal is to, you know, not communicate via yard signs, you know. My goal is with the little bit of the YouTube things that we're doing and thanking people, you know, sometimes, you know, and I hate to say that we forget that, but we really don't. But when we make time to honor the unsung heroes, you know, that maybe normally don't get thanked, you know, on a broader spectrum, I think it's just so important. And they were just They couldn't believe it. I mean, you might have thought that we gave them a day off with pay. They were so excited. I didn't say that, Mr. Brown. But I'm just trying to emulate, how excited they were,
Well, thank you.
So I just want to let you know.
Okay, and we thank our technician here that is making this taping possible. I don't know if we have any other items to come before the board.
You have a meeting in December?
We do have a meeting in December.
December 2nd.
And it will be, not the second, the second Tuesday, which will be the 9th.
Oh, you're talking about the meeting with Ralph, or you're talking about our
Our
meeting?
meeting.
Oh,
Board meeting.
our board meeting is
Yes, we meet
December.
in December and we meet on the 9th.
So
is
this
what I
way,
have.
yeah.
Yep, but December 9th, 9 o'clock here.
It's easier for me.
Okay.
And then if I have to.
Okay, if I hear no other business, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
I second.
All in favor? Let's go.
Aye.
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 Very good.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much, everybody.